Hello and welcome back to the DreamHack Open. We're moments away from getting in the first game of the NA West semifinals, where we see the 500 players who qualify narrowed down to only 100. And this is the first time in a long time, Monster, that we get to see a spotlight on NA West, and I couldn't be more excited.
That's right, NA West making their way to the big stage now, getting those eyeballs up and popping. And I mean, talk about that. I saw a surprise appearance from High Skies, so I want to see how he's going to pop off and play here today. I see now why chat, by the way, was rooting for Booga. You see Booga up top, ready to get his land on.
Yeah, he made it through at the last second, I believe. He tweeted that he was going to stream it too, and I believe he is. So a couple eyes on him, and I say a couple, I mean more than 20,000 people for sure, and the rest of the fans who are watching in different perspectives. But first game, and just to give you guys an update on, or an idea of how we're going to be doing this broadcast, we are going to be using the replay mode and going through a game in its entirety, so we get to see everybody on this map end up where they are going to go and play out, and potentially also an idea of how the grand finals might play out for the best of the best.
I love that we get to see this nice wide shot play out here. Like you mentioned, you're seeing some areas already begin the stacking, right? The weather station down on the bottom side there. Retail row looks like it's going to be a little popping right now. Steamy stacks also a bit congested, as is the farms here. Where's Booga? Booga's playing the flex drop right now, going for the pirate ship.
Wow.
Pulling a snazzy here. This is how we saw him, and he's got someone contesting him.
Yeah, it's a good old 50-50, but a pistol will be found. Ooh. And I think that's a wrap for Kenshi. Although he goes to the bottom, Booga gets some minis out. He's going to continue to chase no matter what, though, because he knows slurp juice, slurp cans. No, he loses it to a burst AR. Kenshi will win, and he will dance on through that. But another player is still coming, I think. But no, he'll back off on that mini map. So is Lucky making an appearance on NA West, holding it down at the farms as usual.
That's a big yikes, but all right, here we have it. What's it? 10 runs, right? They have 10 opportunities in the load-ins here today. We're going to get a little bit of everything. You do get some throwaways, to say the least here. It's Lucky, that blue charge shotgun and 90 HP to kick things off. So you know he found some chug splashes to go with the big pot. This is a great start for him so far. He's got the advantage for sure.
One of the things that I saw on that map was a very, very nice spread of players. I mean, we mentioned a couple spots that were congested, but not too many all around. So regardless, here's his Lucky to box. Yes, they're right on top of each other, but only a few mats. He gets on the roof, a nice shot. Traded on both sides, and now he's gonna try to get around the wall, but still some shields on the other side. That might cue his Lucky to go down and hopefully get away into the house, but I don't know if he can actually do so. Still two players on the outside of this that might end up pushing. The other player, Drew, dropping down now, and also, oh, okay. Good reaction from Sizz to recognize that there was going to be, no, that was Sizz's in fact. So it's kind of putting it in between him and the other.
Big shot right there, though. Either way, the charge shotgun really carrying that damage down range on the full charge up there. Gotta love the perks of that one. Bryce looks like he's going to be king of the weather station. We did see two people land here, so he is going to get the best of them. Not to mention a nice loadout to take for the road as well right now. Love what he's doing here, spending the time to farm up that metal before dipping out.
It's so important. We didn't even talk about the fact that there are no farmable cars on the map right now. So metal is scarce. Getting up as fast as he has to max metal up at the weather station is going to be so important for his rotation. Everything else you can get on the map, right? You can still get brick, you can still get wood, so you're not worried about it at all. Instantly, Bryce is at an advantage against other players throughout the game.
That is true, but let's see how it's going to play out here. Just looking over at the map there, I do see there's a player down by Caddy's corner here. Love that he's opting into the crash pads, the extra heals. This is looking like it's going to be a well-rounded loadout for him to continue to take into the game. What do you think the strategy here is for players on semis day? Is it play for end game? Do you think we're going to see more W key style, pop-off fests? What do you think players are going to be leaning for the start of the semis?
I mean, there are people who aren't known to W key in semis, people like Letchi and Wolfies and things like that. But for the most part, no, it's play for endgame and try to pop off there, right? Also, by the way, we'll get updates on other people in different lobbies, including scores. So we see a nice little shot off the zip line for Edgy, by the way. in another game.
There's Venner, though, trying to get his loot together. Looks like his pathing is going just fine, though. 300 medium ammunition, such a huge benefit to have, especially considering in solos, when you find ammo, it's not going to be large stacks by any means. So either he found a llama to kick things off, or he's just had a nice drop spot to himself.
I think that's something that people haven't noticed, is that all the spots with gas stations and so on are kind of buffed right now. So Salty Springs, which typically is a spot that's a little rough to play, is changed a little bit. Even though it gets contested a lot, you end up now having the slurp barrels inside the gas station, some extra metal to farm throughout all of this instead of just brick. And there's DJ, the man that we had talked to prior to this. He landed at the yacht, looks like by himself too, and trying to carry over some floppers outside of it.
The greed. He wants the peppers, the harpoon, and all the floppers for the road right now. I wonder what he's going to end up dropping here. I think he's looking to carry. Yeah, he's looking to use this harpoon to the best visibility, take all the flops and hit the road here. I mean, if you talk about what he mentioned at the start, right? Being passive and trying to play smart. This is the way you do it. The peppers are great for rotations. The floppers give him a lot of buffer as far as decision making and timing that he could play around the zone. So I think he's already off to a really great start as far as his game plan coming into things.
Yeah. And DGen is one of the very, very few players to qualify for semifinals in all DreamHack regions. He did it in the EU. He's the only NA East player to do that and qualify for the semis. He placed around 50th in the grand finals for NA East. Fortunately, didn't make it to the grand finals in the EU, but here again is another opportunity. And I think this might be a little bit easier for him, especially given that this is the only place he needs to focus on.
It's true, but someone who has a little bit of an issue right now is Bryce. He's got someone on his heels here, and yes, it is going to end up punishing him. Hit for about 90 HP right now. Grenades are coming in. I'm going to start piecing up his builds right now. He switches over to hard mats. Going to play a little defense here.
Shots on the backside. Trade a little bit, but clearly neither side wants to truly fight, though Bryce sees an opportunity and does go for it. But how much more is he going to go for it? Alex still playing defensively after engaging in this first part, and yes, they will back off from each other. This is true semifinals form from both of these sides right now. They just tap at each other, see if there's any weakness, and then they back off. But Bryce is not done. I think Bryce is not happy with what Alec just did to him, and he might actually move around and try to get even more beams unexpectedly on Alec.
This is pretty cheeky right here. He says, you know what? You blew a couple grenades. You want to pop some shots? We'll see what happens when you get out-angled and out-positioned, because now he has the high ground. This is his advantage naturally right here. And it also gives him a little block line of sight. If Alec goes down under, which he already did, let's see if he can land some shots here. This is going to be a big opener for him potentially right now. There is a chest in front inside of that shack there, and yes, he is. He's gonna find the 90 piece for the opener right now, and it's looking like the full commitment here. Remember, he does have those crash pads, Bala, so you can get in and out of any of these boxes if Bryce wants to, and it doesn't matter. He's gonna find a nice little opening there onto Alec, and also get tagged up in the process from Polarized.
That was wonderful from Bryce. And this is the guy who placed 4th yesterday in one of the heats. But just recognizing Alec did not want to fight. He was just trying to find an easy couple of tags with the grenades. And then getting the big flank, recognizing that there's a huge opportunity for him to misplace where he wants to go. I really like that. And then Polarized got a couple tags, but he knew it was not really a big threat, especially with the pepper. He could get out of the situation very, very easily.
All right, now he's going to swing back over to the agency base over here, just kind of hang out, get his farm on, and probably wait a little zone out. Here's Synax sitting right on top of Noel, looking like they might have both just come from outside of the zone. Synax really trying to take the fight right now, though. He does have the advantage up over his opponent here. Noel peeking out from the cone. Love the defensive walls right now from Synax, but a little bit of respect on the player for Noel, but Noel's not going to care for it. He jumps in the box for the 50-50, and attack is going to win the exchange here. landing what needed to be done.
That was great. Even over the stairs too. The one edit to catch Newell down below where he didn't expect him to come out of. Now the trap killed outside of the authority. He might actually push through. Is that? Oh, I guess there is time. I guess the lobbies have started wrapping up. I remember that these replays are on delay about 5 to 10 minutes on any way. So Blake winning a lobby. Blake, who qualified through Heat 1 yesterday, solidly from NA East. Off to a good start.
That he is indeed. And that's kind of like the standout performance. The veterans will usually take their game one. Even on a semis day, you never really see it kind of alter off differently, regardless of what. It's a great way to kick things off. Like you said, we're on that slight buffer, so we'll get to see the 360 for a lot of different games as they begin to unfold here. Young Gun, though, your perspective on top already with an elimination. Here in the authority, he looks like he has a bit of trouble right now because Trap is trying to get a piece of the action. Great snipe shot to open things up, though.
Yeah, that'll be so good. And maybe a couple crash pads to get close on top of him and also potentially get in the box. Yeah, he's going to throw it. That will break and bust in, but it doesn't matter. You will bait him in. And that's certainly a trap to get the elim for our friend right in front of us. That was nicely done. Even winning the fight after getting sniped is not something you normally see. That sort of advantage should be a conversion, but it's not.
Massive, massive pickup right there. And that purple charge shotgun, you're going to see that damage get put to work here. Little upgrade, though, across the board now. AR class looking good. Here's a little FYI. Young Gun placed 83rd in Heat 2. Not too bad. That's actually pretty decent. Top 100 is what these guys are gunning for sure. Going to make it all the way to finals tomorrow.
There's Synax again. Saw him get the wonderful elim on the Newell just moments ago, rotating in parallel with Monogatari. And he's in zone too, very low HP, no heals. He's gonna spend some time in zone with this, but that might cue Synax to recognize that he's low, and he doesn't actually have huge opportunities to do much. He's not even gonna stay there. Don't know if he had the wood. No, he didn't have the wood to stoke it. So he couldn't stay there. He couldn't commit. I think he might be down and dusted, but there's the bandages. That's perfectly timed. He'll be able to pop it and get right back up, but it's only 5, so more time spent. And again, Synax will recognize that it's ticking for 2 now.
What a close encounter here. Regardless, though, finds himself a few more opportunities here in the zone. He does have those crash pads, so he should be A-okay to escape on out here. But wait a second, the little bit of a hiccup there might cost him. We'll see, though, now. He's going to land on these cones. Both crash pads already out. He's going to escape this zone with barely any HP. Might have actually been worth it just run through the bush to see if he got lucky again with some bandages, but doesn't matter. 90 metal is all he's got. This is a shot that's going to probably make or break his standing here. Let's see if he can hit it.
Yes,
and yes, he is. He's going to find the sniper shot that is going to bail him out. Now he has some HP to work with. No material, but hey, he's still in the game here, Bala.
Yeah, there's still opportunities to find materials, especially on this left side. Look, more brick. And potentially even some more trees through this bush. There's players around him, but they're not really focused. They're all focused on the rotate. Sure, some of this stuff is already farmed out, so he's not spending the time to go hit it for 5 brick. Maybe he should, but this is fine. He's actually survived out of this, and I was about to say it might almost have been better for him not to survive the zone and just give up on this game, go to the next, because it's a tough one. But in semifinals, that is a very hard decision to have to make, and he already gets 1 elim. If he can do anything else at this point, it's solid. Fix whatever's happening in the early game, though, because to be in this position at all is definitely not appealing whatsoever.
Definitely a bit of a comeback story we see unfolding here for Flack. Like Bala mentioned, he's got plenty of time to farm. Look at, he's on the close side of the zone here. I wonder when and where he's going to actually hunker down and try and get as much as he can here. Player that we do want to keep our eyes on is 40R Storm, who has been on top of his game. We talk about EU players invading. I saw Queasy from Team Enterprise up there. So Queasy making his way across. And this is a pretty stacked out lobby. I saw Dijon up there as well. Here's his Lucky. Of course, 40R Storm. So the way this one's kind of playing out, this is going to be quite the game we're looking at here, Bala.
I think something actually hilarious or maybe sad, I don't know how to frame this, is that one of Queasy or Trulex, and I'm pretty sure it was Queasy, didn't actually qualify out of opens for EU. And now to do it on NA West on probably 160 ping, because I'm pretty sure he's Eastern European as well. That is that's interesting. So at least he gets the opportunity now.
What does it say? Oh man. Here's Spectro. Man, Spectro's been around the West scene for a long time. Like I said, It feels really good to see the West region back on the map right here, getting some of that shine. Seeing players like Spectro has been around for quite some time, the earliest days for the West scene.
$40R Storm is looking so good in this game. This is a big name to be following in this. Animal as well, and some of the other guys we've pointed out. Nanolite in the background there. We're starting to see some of the players who are clear contenders to take this first game that we're watching here. I drop from EU as well. There's actually a lot. Cloud played very well. Nice shot for 40R Storm to bait the open window from his cone. A player boxed up right next to him. That is an easy elim and back up to max mats for 40R.
Rough one if you're just going for some vision or poking your nose around where it doesn't belong. The big punish right there. Take a look. There's a little bit of a battle going on up here, though. It's Daxor who's trying to get into the action. And Mars OW. Mars had a great day yesterday. It's not looking too hot right now. Again, perspective, though. Eyes on Okar here, who's in a world of trouble. Does try to jump for the launch, but actually misses it because the Peppers push him out a little too far, but that's okay. Either way, he does to elevate here and stay in the game. A little bit of a replay down in your left corner, though. Another fight's happening. It's Reet, his victory royale with his final moments. Good to see Reet on top right now, too.
Yeah, that's a West player who, for sure, had a breakout performance at Anaheim. Something like he was the player who's just W King in grand finals and still making it work while streaming, if you remember that too. Now to start off with a win in the semifinals, that's good to see and a good omen for him going forward. Nice pick from Okar back in this game. And we're starting to see this very difficult zone develop. One in the central island, a lot of congestion there. One at the side of Lazy Lake where there's the waterfall. And then the most of this is on Misty Meadows. But fourth zone means that those players down in Misty Meadows, especially those who are not deep into Misty Meadows, are going to have to still move for sure.
And just jumping back on the topic of Reet, he did pretty good for the West on FNCS Invitation. It was just recently as well. So the solo invitation, Reet was on top for the West scene. He has been on his ball game, especially in the solos kind of setting here. You're looking at Animal, though, trying to cut across right now. He's really in a struggle of the situation. Only 200 material left of only wood, so no more hard mats here for Animal. He does have that grappler, though, so anything is possible with the loadout here. I see eye drop. It's taken out by Hap there. That's going to be unfortunate for him. This is the stacked corner up top, though.
I think that eye drop was actually under Surge when he was trying to go for Hap's wall, but nobody was having any of it. They were just like, yeah, this guy wants Surge, and this is actually very scary for a lot of people, especially Animal. 3 sharks are in the 5th zone right here on that Lazy Lake edge that I mentioned. And since everybody will have to base up here, that might cause some trouble. And most importantly, though, it's going to eat any loot of anybody who gets a refresh in this 5th zone instantly. I mean, those guys are hungry. Blake onto Slacks, 2 East players battling, but Slacks has no opportunity to get away. I think possibly was trying to get some surge damage himself, but Blake will take advantage of that, just beam him from the side when he was not paying too much attention.
You can see the bridges being built now from the landmass. Players trying to cross over by any means here. And it's a stacker. And like you said, they're sitting on top of the sharks. You can hear the sound effects literally queuing off. The shark chipping away at any builds down below trying to get to that loot. I am wondering if we're going to see a nice POV of one just dive through a good chunk of builds, because the way the cluster is lined up right here, it's not looking too hot. I think they could jump as high as 3 stories. So, chomp off anything in the warpath. Here's a great shot if you're overhead to get a good look at how many players are still in the running right now. I see Falconer up there, Dijon, Felix, Ghoul, many of which are competitive veterans for the West.
Wonder if 40R Storm's still up. I can't quite see him. He was near Cloud for a little bit of time. I like this position from July. One of the few players who actually uses mobility to get on the front side, or the dead side of that 5th zone, the one that reveals itself where nobody can really go until 5th zone closes. And he's all the way there. Same with his Lucky. I like it. And the zone does favor them. So they'll have an opportunity to kind of bounce some shots off while they go for this. Nice grapple for Animal to chain it back to back like he's a pro skater. Ooh. There it is, July onto Flacco. Flacco made it all the way here, so a couple placement points for him. He made the game of shambles actually work out. Another one, too, from July with only a pistol. That thing's so powerful sometimes. It catches you by surprise.
Underrated, especially with the first shot accuracy, how fast you can chain your shots back to back. 100% accurate. July, though, is trying to make the best out of nothing. Make some lemonade with the lemons here, because he's only got 200 on the material count. It's going to be Wood here. Attack, getting put into work. He's looking to jump into someone's face right now and go for the 50-50. There is someone on the storm line there. It's time to get away and try and escape. The wide shot, though, is Cloud, who's up on height, controlling the scene, and the zone's going to be pushing straight through. And it looks like it's going right up to Lazy Lake, so it's going to continue to march on forwards, which means that everyone's going to have to build. This is where we're going to start seeing players hit that shambles positioning here. Animal's going to fall in the feed now. So Kata is going to find himself a little elim. And things are really cooking up now, Ball, as the placement points are being given out. July finds the grappler.
Yeah, that was actually Animal who went down to Kata. No, sorry, Nanolite all the way back there. So there's a lot of trades going on. Wrigley in this as well. 5 elims. He's down on low ground, but I think Nanolite has the shockwave launcher, or possibly was just bouncing through it. I can't quite see anything yet. It's his Lucky, his former teammate next to him. There's a nice RPG on a DJ.
Oh my gosh.
Grapple forward from July. He's making it work. 40R still up in this game too, but 22 players as well with him as we go into the 8th zone.
And this works out for him. He does manage to find some material in the process as well in the front of the zone here. He'll get first dibs on chipping and farming his way through the builds, but no, it's going to pull backwards now. So again, everyone's forced to reposition and rotate here, including July. Now Wrigley, though, popping off here in the low ground. He's already on 7 eliminations. He doesn't look like he wants to stop now. He's on the effects of the pepper. You can see how long that can last you for a second there. As we jump back to July's perspective. 4 elims, another impact elimination, a small refresher for him. You're seeing the strength of the grappler right now as it's bailing him out of every situation right here.
And there's the pressure up on the height. It's Cloud who's up there. 40R Storm is all the way down. Oh, the RPG, it connects. He's got it. He took height. He has it. And right now, with the RPGs he has left, he'll be able to fire down on the server and make it thin out instantly as we move into the final zone. Blake's still up, though. So is 40R Storm hacked as well, but these RPGs is going to cause complete chaos down on low ground.
You're seeing it into full effect here. The rocket spam happening now, giving him all the advantage here. July's, though, is the one who's jumping down, trying to get into the thick of it. Few elims on the board here if he can find them, but no one's going to get stolen. 40R does manage to make it to endgame, Bala. The question has been answered. He's gathering up as many points as possible, but now it's all about the elims. As finally, we're looking at Blake versus July here.
1v1, July with the height. It's going to go over the builds, but he has none left, so he's got to use his grappler. Blake has the materials to stay up, and there it is. He gets over. Blake boxes him out, but he can't quite get up the hill. Still another chance. Yes, he makes it count, but no materials. Blake now has a little bit more to work with, and up on height, he still has 57 builds, so I think he'll be able to clean this up unless he misses the shot. Still not quite connecting with much. There's another tag, but long-range tack attack does not quite cut it. July going to get a couple mats. It's only 5 builds, but maybe some time to pop a mini. Yes, it is. Blake does not pressure. Finally, A little bit of a pause, but here we go. Blake will have to drop down, or he's gonna wait for it. Yes, I think he knows based HP that he stayed in zone a couple times, especially with the glider. Here we go. Yes, Blake will drop and he will get the elim. 5 elims though for July, but Blake tops that with 6 and the victory royale. That was game 1. We got game 2 after this quick break.